Today I'm taking you to two virtual geocaches that have to do with American music history, made right here in Clear Lake, Iowa. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. That's right, I'm here in Clear Lake, Iowa today doing a couple of virtuals that have to do with American music history. I'm at the world famous Surf Ballroom. If you don't know what the Surf Ballroom is famous for, it is the location where three music giants had their last concert before they got into an airplane and crashed about 5 miles north of town here, where there's another virtual. I'll take you to that in just a few minutes. But first, let's check out the Surf Ballroom and the virtual here as well. I believe it was Don McLean that wrote a long time ago, "I can still remember when." That song is called American Pie and was written about the incident that happened here on February 3rd, 1959. The concert that night was actually on February 2nd, 1959. It featured three up-and-coming young music artists that were here on a 28-day music tour around the Midwest. The tour was called the Winter Dance Party Tour. It included 28 shows in 28 days, so the singers were incredibly busy traveling to and from each location around the Midwest. On that fateful night here at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa, three music artists boarded a plane after the concert here. They were JP Richardson, also known as the Big Bopper, Ritchie Valens, and Buddy Holly. They had been touring around in a bus, but being February and being here in the Midwest, it got cold. Traveling conditions on buses weren't all that great. Buddy Holly wanted to travel up to Moorhead, Minnesota because they had a concert the next day on February 3rd in Fargo, North Dakota. He wanted to get there faster, so he chartered a plane. That plane was piloted that night by Roger Peterson. The plane took off from the small airport here in Clear Lake, Iowa, but only reached about 5 miles north of town before it came tumbling down to the ground, and all four people on board were killed. The music world lost three legends that day. JP Richardson, the Big Bopper, was just 28 years old. Buddy Holly, 22 years old. And Ritchie Valens, just 17 years old. But without further ado, there's a couple geocaches to be found here, a couple virtuals. I'm going to show you those as well too. Let's go get those. I can just imagine myself here in 1959 with all the cool cars that were around, and this place here, the Surf Ballroom, with all the great music that was around too as well. They have a little area under this marquee here where it has some memorial blocks you could have purchased, I guess. Put your names on it or put whatever you want on there. One of those blocks has the answer you need for the virtual here. There's a memorial right here next to the front door dedicated to the three musical artists who lost their lives and the pilot of the plane. Let's go check that out. Well, now I got the virtual here in my back pocket. I found out something on the internet before I got here that they actually give tours of this place. Let's go ahead and see if we can get inside and get a tour. I'm in the Surf Ballroom. Oh wow, this place is cool. It just feels old and feels nostalgic here. Wow, let's take a look around. Ooh, check it out. They have some pictures here of the night of the concert, February 2nd, 1959. Wow. There's Ritchie Valens right there, playing his last show ever. There's Buddy Holly right there singing one of his last songs with Waylon Jennings on guitar, Tommy Allsup in the background. They're on the drums. Now, as I understand it, this whole place has not changed a whole lot since it was built in 1948. Now, I say it was built in 1948 because the original Surf Ballroom was located across the street and burned down in the 40s. They had to rebuild it, and that's the place you see here today. It is on the U.S. Historical Registry of Historic Places, and it's really something else to come here. It's really a vintage throwback. It's just amazing to just look at all the old stuff here and the way that things were back then. They have the stage, of course, and then they have the dance floor here that could probably hold maybe 1,000 or 1,500 people here. On the outside of the floor, there's a ring of seats, booths and tables that are just completely thrown back to the 40s. It is hard to sit in. I could barely fit in one of them. Everything here is still clean and in immaculate condition. In fact, they had a concert here last night. REO Speedwagon played. It's a band I've seen about 5 or 6 times myself, but I didn't come here last night. Wow, just think of the history here. How many people have played here and all the things that have happened here. Just unbelievable to think about that. As I'm walking around the dance floor here, I'm looking up and I see 3 big pictures of the people who died that night. I'm walking around the dance floor and it's cracking and creaking like an old dance floor would. It kind of reminds me of my old high school gymnasium back in the 90s. I know it's not quite the 40s, but it just reminds me of that. All right, leaving the dance floor now and coming into what looks like a cafe of some sort. Ooh, all sorts of memorabilia everywhere. Fats Domino, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Roy Orbison, Ike and Tina Turner, Jerry Lee Lewis. Here's a message from Ted Nugent. God bless the Surf Ballroom, Ted Nugent, 2003. Oh, an autographed picture from Leonard Skinner and all the band members there. Autographed guitars line the little cafe area here. Some of the donators include Gene Simmons, Cheap Trick, Peter Frampton, Motley Crue's Vince Neil, and Bret Michaels. Wow, what an awesome time that was inside the Surf Ballroom. History has been made there. I think it's pretty safe to say I'm going to give that virtual a favorite point, that's for sure. All right, now that we've got this one out of the way, I'm going to take you about 5 miles to the north here, and there's a virtual cache there. I've made it to the field entrance right off this gravel road. About a quarter mile this way is where the crash actually happened. We're going to head there in a second. Take a look at this memorial here. It's in the shape of Buddy Holly's classic glasses that he always used to wear. People have left their own glasses as memorial notes. They've signed the posts, and even somebody has left a little handwritten letter here to Buddy Holly. Well, nothing says an Iowa tourist attraction quite like walking through a bunch of corn. That's true. Well, the pathway is ending here, and I'm approaching the spot where Google Maps calls the Buddy Holly crash site. Yep, there's a nice memorial right there. Quite the memorial that somebody's made out here. We got 3 records here. Peggy Sue, Donna, and Chantilly Lace. Oh my gosh, look at all these glasses. Just glasses everywhere. Glasses here, glasses up there on that wreath, all over. There's glasses down here. Some more glasses. Some more glasses. There's guitar picks here. Change all over the place. Money all over the place. People leave in memorial to somebody they loved or somebody they cared much about. Here's some symbolic artificial holly leaves. I like that. Nice little touch there for holly. For the virtual here, all I have to do is take a picture of myself with the shrine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm also going to post it to my Instagram as well as my Facebook. You can follow me on there so you don't miss any of the other stuff that I do that I don't post on YouTube. Well, there you have it. That's 2 virtual caches from a very important, influential era in modern rock and roll music history here in America. If you like what you see from this video and you want to see more, click the subscribe button. Watch some of these other videos here on the side. And we'll see you guys next time for another episode of Geocaching with Hailmeister.